welcome back to a brand new Reactcast. It's that time of the week again. What really happened on September 11th, 2001? What really happened? We're going to check out some crazy conspiracy theories, and I'll have my thoughts on 9/11 and see what it is. This is not a thing. This is a sad matter, a sad disaster at the World Trade Center, September 11th, 2001. This is not for no fun, no nothing. People died, and this is not a thing to do anything. Just to say that off the bat. Okay, let's get into it.
We're looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
Conspiracy theories debunked, hopefully forever. Number 1, jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
Yeah, it's a freaking noodle. Your argument is invalid. Get over it. Find a job.
This is the most common conspiracy theory. So much so that it's essentially become a meme these days. And like a lot of memes, it's nonsense. No, jet fuel cannot melt steel beams. Jet fuel burns up to 1500 degrees Fahrenheit, while steel melts at around 2500 degrees. However, steel does begin to lose strength at around 600 degrees Fahrenheit. And with the weight above the impact point on the North Tower similar to that of the Titanic, the weakened steel simply could not hold, and the tower collapsed. Number 2, controlled explosions.
Yeah, I believe this.
When the towers collapsed, many commented that the destruction looked similar to that of a controlled demolition. This added...
I'm just going to point this out. Well, in my opinion, I don't think a second plane really... Yeah, I don't really believe a second plane went in. I believe that the government placed, or George Bush placed, like, explosions in floors to make it go down fast, and like the time the plane hit, because there's definitely like things about people saying that they heard an explosion before the planes hit. So
fuel to many conspiracy theories. However, modelling has proven this inaccurate. Research by Purdue University and Dr. Frank Greening showed that with the way the fuel spread on impact, and with the weight transfer from the building above the impact site, the building would indeed fall almost entirely vertically. Number 3, the World Trade Center 7 collapse was an inside job. Alongside the North and South Tower, WTC-7 was also destroyed on 9/11.
Yeah,
it took around 7 hours for the building to collapse.
The Pentagon,
However,
how did that
the National Institute of Standards and Technology has supported the theory that WTC-7 was more damaged by falling debris than previously estimated. WTC-7 may have withstood the debris or the fire, but both factors, combined with the unusual design, brought down the building. Number 4, the Pentagon was hit by a missile. Despite dozens of witnesses who watched a plane fly into the side of the Pentagon, many conspiracy theorists believe it was instead a missile that caused the damage.
There's no way
the plane hit the Pentagon's exterior wall, it created a hole approximately 75 feet wide. So why wasn't the hole 125 feet wide, the same as the plane's wingspan? The answer is actually pretty simple. One wing hit the ground on approach, and the second was sheared off by the force of the impact, leaving just the fuselage to cause damage. Number 5, Flight United 93 was shot down.
I'm on a plane that's been hijacked. I'm on the plane. I'm calling from the plane. I want to tell you I love you. Please tell my children that I love them very much.
Wait, what? She was on it?
I'm so sorry, babe. I don't know what to say. I hope to be able to see your face again, baby. I love you.
The 4th and final plane to be hijacked was believed to be targeting Washington, D.C. Instead, it crashed into a field in Pennsylvania. After the plane was hijacked, the crew and passengers staged a revolt, either forcing the plane into the ground themselves or forcing the hijackers to do so. But some believe the flight was instead shot down by the US military. This conspiracy theory is actually born out of some truth. The order was apparently given by Vice President Dick Cheney for the plane to be shot down. However, the scrambled jets never made it in time. And we know the plane wasn't shot down because the scrambled jets weren't armed, and instead actually planned to ram the plane. But before they got the chance to do so, the passengers took matters into their own hands. I think an act of heroism just took place on that plane, Cheney said. There are many, many more 9/11 conspiracy theories out there, all of which are completely ridiculous and easily disproved. But after 20 years, it's unlikely that some people will ever accept the truth.
Okay, buddy. I still think, like, I don't know. There's yeah, you may have some things about okay, you may be smart. Like, I don't know. Still, in my opinion, that's a little bit dumb. So, that's my opinion. Like, inside job. Like,
Online journalism entered a new era when the Twin Towers were attacked. With the world stunned, websites crashed under the surge in demand for news. And within days, myths and conspiracies went viral.
Insane, guys.
Some ludicrous, others more convincing. Here are 3 myths that spread fast following September 11th. One of the most far-reaching was that the attacks were a Jewish conspiracy. Following the retraction of a newspaper story that thousands of Jews had been killed, some took this as a sign that people had been pre-warned. A lot of hate and mistrust stemmed from the attacks, and urban myths such as this fueled it. People looked for meaning where they could find it. One myth in particular quickly went viral by email. The cryptic manuscripts of Nostradamus, a French astrologer from the 16th century, have always been popular. Various variations of his predictions were circulated. But the prophecies that went viral weren't actually written by Nostradamus. One was even traced back to a Canadian blog. In the wake of the attacks, books on Nostradamus topped the charts on Amazon in the US.
The accidental hoax. What's the accidental
Shortly
hoax?
after 9/11, an image surfaced on the internet that was quickly shared. It was a photo of a tourist taken at the top of one of the towers, a split second before a plane crashed into it. It was a bad joke meant for friends, but it ended up going much further. It was quickly debunked, but went on to become an early example of a meme, as many variations followed. A study in 2016 found more than half of Americans believed it.
Okay. So before we play on the video, this is more my research video. So what about all the times that all the shows were like, the Twin Towers, they're falling, and like things in the back of things and more of all that. Like, are we really gonna let go of that? Like, yeah, how was there so many on it? They knew it was gonna happen. Subliminal messaging. We will be looking at that I think actually next week, guys. So stay tuned for that.
The US government was concealing information on the 9/11 attacks. The most damaging myths have fueled racism, increased mistrust of the state, and added to the distress of survivors. 20 years on, the need to continually debunk these myths remains.
Of course, not all conspiracy theories are real, and I agree with that. But there are, until like I don't know what to say about that. Yeah, I really do. Mm-mm. George Bush. George Bush. George Bush scrubbed him when he was.
Turns out I was one that did.
Really?
My assistant came in and said, a plane is at the World Trade Center. And I said, well, that's a strange accident. And I called the president. Initially, we thought maybe a small plane of some kind. And he said, well, keep me posted.
He'd been told that a small twin-engine prop plane crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center. Oh, that's a horrible accident. I was concerned, but I did not think of it as a national security threat.
I remember when he came in, even as a 7-year-old, you know who the president is, right? And I remember like even feeling like that young, feeling like kind of like starstruck and giddy, like I'm going to Disney World or something. And I put my hand over my heart. Like when you think about patriotic things when you're that little, you do the Pledge of Allegiance every day. And I literally put my hand over my heart.
I asked my communicators if they could find a television. And at about 1 minute after 9, they came back in with a television set. So we brought CNN up. I was calling the White House Situation Room to talk to my senior duty officer. So I was chatting with him on the handset.
He's trying to get away with it.
And watched the television as the rest of the country was watching the television at 9:03 when the second aircraft impacted into the second World Trade Center tower.
When the second plane hit, there was an audible gasp of air in the room. Some people put their hand
And we're going to be watching the actual
on their chest.
today, guys, so make sure to tune in.
It was two realizations, right? One, that the immediate death toll, and then the fact that this was an attack on America.
More. Yes, more. Get ready. Light. Yes, light. Get ready.
It hits me as I'm standing there next to the president to the left that the president's the only one that doesn't know the second plane has hit the building.
I had to deliver a message that the president didn't expect to hear and was almost unbelievable. But it also literally was the message he had to hear, whether he wanted to or not.
Andy Card comes up to behind me and says, "Second plane has hit the second tower. America's under attack." And I'm watching the child read. And then I see the press in the back of the room beginning to get the same message I just got. And I could see the horror etched on the face of the news people who had just gotten the same news. During a crisis, it's really important to set a tone and not to panic. And so I waited for the appropriate moment to leave the classroom. I didn't want to do anything dramatic. I didn't want to, lurch out of the chair and scare the classroom full of children. And so I waited.
Try it again. Get ready for the beginning of that sentence. Get ready.
She played with her phone in her house.
I was studying him intently.
I don't know.
And his mouth was kind of drawn and tight. And there was almost
What if
for just a brief moment, sort of a startled look in his eyes. And also a weightiness to him, if you will.
Like imagine
I could tell he was really focused on trying to get through that event.
You're literally seeing the mindset of the President of the United States play out on TV. Everything about what he thought he was about as a president is changing right in front of you. We hear about the great wartime leaders, Churchill, Roosevelt, others.
Why was he in a school at the time?
Days, if not weeks, to process and gird themselves for what was ahead. This is all happening in real time.
So we're actually going to watch the 9/11 thing now, guys. We're going to watch The Towers Are Hit. So this is actually what came up live.
It's 8:52 here in New York. I'm Brian Gumble. We understand that there has been a plane crash on the southern tip
Okay,
of
that's after a plane hit. Is there anyone that shows like the actual. I suppose we'll just go on with this.
We understand that there has been a plane crash on the southern tip of Manhattan. You're looking at the World Trade Center. We understand. We don't know if it was a commercial aircraft. We don't know if it was a private aircraft. We have no idea how many were on board or what the extent of the injuries are right now. We have, I understand, an eyewitness on the phone right now. Sir, good morning. This is Bryant Gumbel. Could you give us your name?
Yeah, my name is Stuart.
Stuart, where are you right now?
I'm working at a restaurant in Soho.
All right, so tell us what you saw, if you would.
I was waiting at a table and I literally saw it seemed to be like a small plane. I just heard a couple noises. It looked like it bounced off the building, and then I just saw a huge ball of fire on top. And then the smoke seemed to simmer down, and it just a lot of smoke was coming out, and that's pretty much the extent of what I saw.
Can you tell us about the scene down there right now?
Right now, people are just on the street looking at the building. The building, there's just a lot of smoke. It's not too crazy down where I am.
How far
why
away
the
from
Twin
the World Trade
Towers
Center
and why we're both
specifically are you?
I'm actually on Thompson Street North. I'm not too far.
It's 8:54 right now, Stuart. Can you tell me when this happened exactly?
I would have to say about 10 minutes ago.
Were you looking up as the plane approached the building, or did it only catch your attention after it crashed into the World Trade Center?
I heard a sort of a crashing sound, but I looked up quick enough to actually see something go into the building, but everything happened so fast I wasn't quite sure what I was looking at.
So there's no way you can know whether or not the plane seemed to be in trouble before it crashed into the building.
Oh no, I couldn't tell.
It's hard for us to tell from the picture we're seeing just how far down from the top that plane crashed. Have you any better eyesight to it from your vantage point?
Not really. All I know is it definitely wasn't the top of the building, because that seems to be intact from what I saw.
Obviously, the timing of this is important. It comes before 9 o'clock. Perhaps, and we say that in hopeful fashion, perhaps not everybody was at work, because if that building was in fact crowded with workers, we're looking at probably some casualties and injuries of considerable proportions. But right now there's no way of telling that. Yeah. We're on the line with another eyewitness. Sir, this is Bryant Gumbel in New York.
Oh, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. You're Wendell?
Yes, I am.
Wendell, can you give me your last name?
Klein.
Wendell Klein. Tell me where you are, if you would.
Well, right now I'm back in the hotel. I'm in the hotel offices here, the front office.
Okay, where were you when
I was standing right in front of the hotel. I'm the doorman there. And
the hotel. Which hotel?
Marriott World Trade Center.
Right across from the World Trade Center.
It's actually right in between them.
Right in between the World Trade Center. Yeah. Okay, so you were standing outside, and tell us what you saw and what you heard.
Well, what I heard first, an explosion. And I just figured that it was a plane passing by. Then all of a sudden, stuff just started falling, like bricks and paper and everything. And so I just kind of ran inside to get away from the falling debris and glass and so forth.
Bro,
then after everything stopped, because it was falling in the street and the cars were crashing into each other. Then when it kind of stopped, I heard a guy screaming. And when I looked over, there was this guy that was on fire. So I kind of ran over and I tried to put the fire out on him. And he was screaming, and I just told him to roll, and he said he can't. And then another guy came over with his bag and kind of put the flames out on him. So right now he's being taken care of. I just had everyone call the ambulance and stuff so it can help him out.
Jeez. He caught fire as a result of the falling debris?
Yeah.
How much debris? Can you give us an idea of how much came crashing to the ground?
It's just a lot. Bricks, a lot of bricks, a lot of glass. Enough to damage cars on the street, make cars swerve into each other, that kind of thing.
I hear alarms going off down there. What's happening?
That's our hotel alarm, and basically, I guess that went off automatically. They've evacuated everyone in the hotel and evacuated all employees.
They have evacuated the hotel?
Yes.
Immediately?
Yes.
Are you hearing anything, Wendell, about what kind of a plane it was or
No.
how many were on board?
No.
All right, Mr. Klein, thank you very much, sir. I understand Teresa Renault is with us right now. Miss Renault, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
This is Bryant Gumbel. I'm down on 59th and 5th. Where are you?
I am in Chelsea, and we are at 8th and 16th. We are the tallest building in the area, and my window faces south, so it looks directly onto the World Trade Center. And I would say, approximately 10 minutes ago, there was a major explosion from probably, it looks like about the 80th floor. It looks like it's affected probably 4 to 8 floors. Major flames are coming out of the north side and also the east side of the building, yes. And it was very loud explosion followed by flames, and it looks like the building is still on fire on the inside.
Which building are we talking about? The one that's westernmost?
Let's see. Yes, sir.
Did you hear the explosion from your position?
Yes, we did. As a matter of fact, we heard it, and because I was just like standing there pretty much looking out the window, I didn't see what caused it or if there was an impact.
So you have no idea right now?
There's another one. Another plane just hit. Right, oh my God, another plane has just hit. It hit another building. Flew right into the middle of it. Explosion. My God, it's right in the middle of the building.
Wait, let me see that.
Right, oh my God. They were pretty much looking out the window. I didn't see what caused it or if there was an impact.
So you have no idea right now?
There's another one. Another plane just hit. Right, oh my God, another plane has just hit. It hit another building. Flew right into the middle of it. Explosion. My God, it's right in the middle of the building.
This one into the east tower?
Yes, right in the middle of the building. And right now, that was definitely looked like it was on purpose.
You saw a plane?
Yes, I just saw a plane go into the building.
Why do you say that was definitely on purpose?
Because it just flew straight into it. It looks like it's about I would say 15 floors.
That would be
lower
so
than the
scary.
first
Like,
building.
just like
And
at
there's
that
now
point,
flames
you
coming
wouldn't
out
know
of that
that
building as
it's
well.
America
They're
under
both
attack.
completely
You know what
on
I mean?
fire.
Are you
Now,
seeing?
Teresa, hang on with us
Is
one
the plane's
second. We're
gonna
going
crash into different
to
buildings?
re-rack the tape of when we were talking to you to see if we can tell.
I see it.
Okay.
We can't see anything. We can't see a second plane in the picture. There we see the explosion.
Okay, let's watch this one. Okay, we're back.
We didn't know what that was.
Holy! Nah, that's scary as fuck. Like, look at that. What? That's like a billion bricks. That's like a million bricks. Just watch it when you look back. Look at that. Like, you can see that bit. Like, oh my god. You're dead if you're on there. Oh! Holy! Hang on, I need to see that one more time. Look at that! It's starting right behind them. Like, look! Oh my god! Literally, look. Run for your
People going under the desk. I heard the chief of the department yell, "The tower has come down. The tower has come down."
The crazy thing is, it's real. It's like from a goddamn movie. Like, let's see. What? How many people lost in Iceland? We'll check that out.
It looked like nuclear cloud. This like gray smoke coming toward the building.
Why is that man just died? Probably people died as well.
Things flying through the street, things hitting the side of the building. And then all of a sudden it became dark outside.
totally dark outside.
I'm on my
Hernandez, Division 6 acting K, urgent. Division 6 acting, go. You're responding down to the World Trade Center. You're maintaining radio communication and advise Manhattan Dispatch what exactly is going on, K. We are unable to make any kind of communication.
Well, how did that tower fall?
It collapsed. The top floors collapsed down. I saw it blow and then ran like hell. Thank God. I'm 69, but I can still run. There's got to be firemen trapped back there, though.
When the chief said the tower came down, I didn't think he meant the entire Twin Tower. There were big radio towers on the top. And I thought those towers had come down and hit our building.
The 10-second collapse instantly kills hundreds of civilians and emergency personnel.
Oh, did it?
This loud thunder, we looked up and the top of half of the building was actually coming down like dominoes, and it just fell over to the left. And everybody started running. It was a nightmare.
I'd be so scared in that situation. You'd run for your life, man. You'd run for your life. Second building. It's a sad, sad, sad thing. Thanks just for watching. Was it all planned? We'll never know.